Hi, thanks for watching. Like many of you, I occasionally surf YouTube for interesting videos on Bible prophecy or specifically about the Antichrist. And occasionally I hear some very good insight and interesting viewpoints that I didn't consider myself. Sometimes I'll run across videos that I'm agreeing with, and then halfway through they start talking about how Trump was chosen by God to lead America against the New World Order or something similar. And I just have to shake my head in disbelief and move on to the next video. One subject that I don't search for is when the rapture will happen, and that's because I believe the Bible clearly and logically teaches a post-tribulation return of Jesus, not a pre-tribulation. Thus, I'm looking for a lot of prophecy to be fulfilled before any rapture. However, I know that a number of you who watch my videos believe in a pre-tribulation or mid-wrath rapture, so I do try to remain respectful of that and avoid getting too preachy about my own beliefs. After all, no two of us would agree on everything. Although I don't search for videos on the rapture, over the last week, a couple of friends of the channel pointed me to a video on the Return of the King YouTube channel, which not only talks enthusiastically about the rapture, but stated that it will happen on June 15th, 2022. That's less than 2 weeks from the day I'm making this video, in case you don't have a calendar handy. I also noticed a couple of other YouTube channels picking up on this June 15th idea, although I didn't investigate whether they were getting it from the Return of the King channel, which is certainly popular and has more than 32,000 subscribers. The video is called The Rapture and the Planetary Parade of June 2022, and has over 100,000 views in the 1 month since it was uploaded. It also has over 4,000 viewers giving it a thumbs up, so a lot of people certainly agree with it. Anyway, I watched a few minutes of it, and it's a well-done video. It has good visuals, strong narration, and is generally easy to follow along with. It is also, however, based largely on the astrological signs and the supposed Revelation 12 sign of September 23rd, 2017. Now, personally speaking, I don't see September 23rd, 2017 as a sign. I made a video about this before, and I'll put a link up top in case you're interested. By the way, it's now almost 5 years since that so-called sign, so we should be getting a bit more skeptical as time goes on. But besides the problem with using astrological signs, which is divination in the Bible, and relying on the September 23rd, 2017 alignment, which wasn't really a sign, the big problem with this video is setting a date. How many times must we see this happen? Over and over again, we see Christians setting specific dates for the return of Jesus, or the rapture, or the end of the world, what have you, and over and over and over again, they turn out to be wrong. You know why they're wrong? Because the Bible specifically tells us that no one can know the day or hour of the Lord's return. It's not like the Bible says no one can know when Jesus returns to judge the world, but the rapture is different. You can figure that out. No one means no one. No matter how well-meaning we are and how thorough our research, this is not something we can discern, and especially not by looking at astrological alignments. But there's something even worse. And that's what might happen on June 16th. You see, when June 16th arrives, and the thousands of Christians who watch that video feel a deep sense of disappointment or even disillusionment at not having been raptured, some of them could very well turn away from the faith. False prophecy has a tendency to do that to people. And this could especially be true for those who may have gotten rid of all their possessions over the last couple of weeks in anticipation of being raptured on June 15th. That exact scenario played out for many hundreds of Christians who were fooled by Brother Camping's prediction. They sold their homes and cars and gave all their money to Brother Camping's ministry, anticipating the return of Jesus and the end of the world. When that didn't happen, they were not only heartbroken at the prophecy being wrong, with many of them admitting to having their faith shaken, but they now had to return to a world where they were destitute. Brother Camping, if you remember, doubled down on his prediction. He announced that he made a small error in his calculations and came up with a brand new date when the world would end. Many of his followers also doubled down on their hopes in his prophecy. That second date also passed without the return of Jesus. So how will the Return of the King channel react on June 16th? Will the brother say that he made an error and come up with a new and improved date when Jesus will definitely return? Or will he, I'm hoping, remember that the Bible says that no man can know the day or hour when Jesus returns, and move away from trying to predict these things? Listen, we all make mistakes, and I'm absolutely not trying to judge the Return of the King channel, because I've certainly made my share of foolish statements in my videos, but it is important that we learn from our mistakes and move on to becoming better Christians. I sincerely hope that there's one thing we can agree on. None of us, not me, not you, and not anyone else, can know the day or hour when Jesus returns. It's not something given to us to understand, no matter how things seem to line up in the stars above. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I'll talk to you guys soon.